Hello again. My project this week was making some little pendants, ideal for Christmas gifts for friends, family, the grandchildren, anybody you feel you want to pass them on to. I made them using a little off-centre turning jig, which is great for working around the holes here. I don't know whether you can see some little patterning on some of these that I've done. I will be putting some photographs at the end so you can see them better. The jig comes from Ruth Niles in the USA. I imported it to the UK a couple of years ago. It's fairly inexpensive. I found it a wonderful little item for doing lots of little jewellery pieces, but also for decoration on small bowls. It has an off-centre faceplate and the whole jig rotates to eccentric positions. I'll do a separate video on that, I think, maybe next week or the week after. So this week, it's the little pendants. Please enjoy the video. If you like it, comment and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've marked a 50mm ring circle on the top of this piece of walnut, and I'm just going to roughly cut it out on the bandsaw. On the lathe now, I'm going to turn this down to round. I'll probably just use a bowl gouge and a skew chisel. I'm going to test the disc now for fit on the jig I'm going to use. That's fine, that fits in there. Because of the way I'm doing this, I may not get a chance to sand this properly on the edge later. So I'm going to give it a good sand now, and I'll give it a chance to touch up if I need to. I'm just going to whiz through the grits at 120, and I'll probably go up to 600 with this being a piece of jewellery. I'm going to flatten the back of the disc on the disc sander. I'm going to put the disc now onto the off-centre jig that I'm using, so a jig that does eccentric centres. I'm just going to hold that on with a bit of double-sided carpet tape. Some people call it Turner's tape. Peel the backing off. I'm going to use the tailstock to help me align this and get a nice centre. Just aligning the grain of the disc with the tailstock so that everything I do has the right alignment. And now I'll leave that under pressure with the tailstock for about 10 minutes. I like to get a good bond with the glue on the back there. The disc's quite a lot thicker than I need, so I'm just going to pare it down using the bowl gouge. I need to reduce it by about half. I'm also going to take very light cuts. It's only held on with the double-sided tape. I'm turning just about 1000 RPM. The last piece of tape fell off on me, or the block fell off the tape, should I say, so I've stuck it back on again, left it to set up for a few minutes, 5 minutes, and we'll try again. I've turned the jig now to one of its eccentric positions, and I'm going to drill a 12mm hole, about half an inch I think, 12mm hole at the top here, which will be the attachment point for the pendant. Using the spindle gouge, I'm just going to change the definition of the hole that I've drilled. So I'll just be working gently from the sides just to elongate the hole and make it a little prettier. Because I drilled the hole in an off-centric position and I've just done this touch up in an off-centric position, I need to sand it now before I remove it, before I turn it back to centre again. Now I'll return it to centre. Unwind it from its eccentric position and recenter, and now I can sand down the entire surface up to 600 grit. I'm just going to sand the back of the disc now. I originally did that on the disc sander just to get it flat. Now I'm going to go through the grit and just leave the paper flat on my work surface here, so just a board on the top of the lathe, and working with the grain I'll just quickly go through the grits, keeping the disc flat. Worth rotating the disc as well, just in case you're putting pressure more on one part than another. I'm going to give the pendant, as it is now, a coat of finishing oil, which is a mix of tung oil and I don't know what else is in it, tung oil and other oils. I use the Chestnut brand in the UK. Give it a good coat all over, and then I'll wipe off the surplus. And this takes about 4 hours to dry. I've got a number of the pendants that I'm doing at once here, so once they're all dry, I'm then going to buff them to a nice finish. Make sure I get inside the attachment hole. Because I'm working with tung oil, which I understand has a habit of self-combusting if it gets a little warm, I'll leave my rags up to dry for 24 hours before I dispose of them. Right, back at the lathe, I've mounted up the first of the my buffing wheels. I use the Beall Buffing System, so this is the first wheel, and this uses Tripoli. So I'm going to give it a rub down with Tripoli first. I have a couple that I'm doing. Don't want too much of the wax, just a light coating of the Tripoli. All around the surfaces, front and back. All directions. The second stage is the white diamond, the white polish. This primarily cleans up any surplus Tripoli that's been left on the item you're buffing and prepares the surface to take the wax. Again, working all the way around the item, all the sides, front, back, edges. Now finally I'll move on to the wax. This is pure Canuba wax. Just load the wheels up lightly and then polish the pieces. I'm just doing a final touch in the direction of the grain.